Henry! It's the coach. This is Madden 19, and it's the NFL on EA Sports. Coming up, the big man, Derrick Henry, fresh off a big game a week ago. Coming up, we'll see the visiting Washington Redskins as they get set to match up against the Tennessee Titans. I'll have scores around the league for you at the half, but it's time for a little football. So we'll hand it over to our broadcast team, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
We welcome all of you to Nissan Stadium on the banks of the Cumberland River in downtown Nashville, Tennessee. The whole of downtown Nashville likely still reverberating with the sounds of the Titans taking the field a moment ago. They're ready for football as their Titans are set to match up with the Washington Redskins. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Charles, we take a look at this Titan ball club entering play. They come in playing pretty good football, winners of 4 of their last 6 games. Meanwhile, for the visiting Redskins, it's late in the year. We all know it. We've seen the calendar for these guys. Their bodies could probably use a break, but they have to push on.
And they're really not as worried about that as maybe we think. They know they've got the entire offseason to rest. All they care about is the game in front of them and finishing strong.
The holiday season is upon us. We've got the gift of the NFL as we're underway here in Week 16. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So out comes the Redskins offense now onto the field. They'll be led out by the #1 overall selection back in 2005 out of the University of Utah. It's Alex Smith.
I love just about everything about him. Love his game, love his makeup, love his moxie. One of my favorite words. This guy's a competitor. Gritty, tough, you name it, he's got it. But he did throw an interception in last week's game. That contributed to a loss. And despite the fact he threw 3 touchdown passes, he's going to be out there redoubling his efforts and trying to play better.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he is going to lose yardage here. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down. So a look here at the key inactives, and we got this list before the game down on the field. They tell us the same thing every time, don't they? Next man up.
No excuses. Be ready to play. That's the mantra of every organization. The key is having guys on the roster who are capable of filling in and playing at a high level. That's when you know you've drafted well, scouted free agents well, and stocked your team just the way you're supposed to.
Trying to turn the corner, but they string him out and stop him at the line of scrimmage. The cornerback, it's Logan Ryan who brings him down. And here a look at the offensive starters for the Redskins.
Jordan Reed's coming off of an injury-plagued season that set him back and held him to just 6 games. And Washington's definitely hoping he can get back to his 2016 Pro Bowl form. That made him one of the most dangerous tight ends in the game. And in fact, when he runs routes, it's often equated to a basketball player with a great crossover move. A lot of guys just can't stick with him.
3 and out, a real danger here on their opening drive as they come up on a 3rd and 12. From the gun, here's Smith. Pressure comes, and the Titans able to bring him down. Derrick Morgan in there to get him for sack number 9 now on the year. Man, he got in there so quickly, Charles. What could the offense have done to adjust and account for that?
But what you're hoping is that you figure it out and you see and get a clue that maybe there's going to be some pressure coming at you, and you change the blocking schemes. Maybe you go to max protection. The biggest one is maybe you bring your running back in to try and keep you clean. But in that case, that didn't happen. 0 accountability, and a sack resulted.
So out comes this offense to take over for the first time. As we take a peek at their versatile quarterback, the Hawaii native and former Oregon Duck, Marcus Mariota.
And I think it's safe to say that, and I heard him say it in the post-game press conference, that was a team win last week because he didn't really play up to his normal standards, throwing 2 interceptions.
No touchdown.
Yeah, didn't offset it at all, but the team found a way to get it done.
Mariota and the Titans break the huddle, 1st and 10 at their own 24. Now a first carry for Derrick Henry. And he'll get it up to the 33-yard line. The numbers on the ground for Henry last week. 25 carries, 86 yards, and a touchdown.
And they love what they've got in him. He's the number 4 rusher in the league right now, so you know that you have to account for him on defense, which means you can play complementary football as well. Throw the play action, get it out to the wide receivers, because they should have some open space, because the defense will key on them.
Flushed out right. And they get to Mariota here as he's dropped on the sack. And the offensive starters for Tennessee.
Let's take a look at Delaney Walker, the only tight end in the league to lead his team in catches in each of the last 4 years. Yeah, he's a late bloomer. He never topped 30 catches in his 7 years with the San Francisco 49ers. But remember, he came out of college as a pure wide receiver and had to make the transition to tight end. Played that at Central Missouri. Now he's the featured guy in Tennessee and is putting up Pro Bowl numbers year in and year out.
And he's able to get the first before he's taken down at the 36. They only get 2 there, but on 3rd and 1, that's all they needed to keep the drive going.
Defensively here, you're facing a top 5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL, so when they're that high-powered, you've got to find a way to hold them under 20, because to me, that's the magic number. 20 points scored, you give yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
And I think so, because then you turn it into a shootout, and that means your offense has to keep pace. And there we see an early burst that makes him one of the leading rushers in the league.
Well, I want you to know, I listened to you yesterday when we were watching film. You said write down the word vision for him. It was on display there, wasn't it?
It certainly was, because he allows the blocks to set up in front of him. And if that continues, it'll be a long afternoon for those guys trying to play some defense.
That's caught inside the 20. And they'll have it in the red zone before he crosses over out of bounds. That goes for a gain of 31.
In our pregame meeting, all they talked about was keeping him hemmed in and wanting him to make his throws from the pocket, because they knew he was pretty dangerous if he got outside, and he just showed it right there. Pretty good arm, too.
A first down carry for Henry. And able to get him down, but he does reach the 5. 11 more yards that go around, a first down as well.
And that's a run that'll energize an offensive line. They'll take that one all day long. Fundamental breakdown by the defense. You've got to be able to make plays on the edge.
They'll try and run for it with Henry. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. It'll be a pickup of 4, and it brings up 2nd and goal. A look here on your screen at how Washington's going to line up defensively. Against the pass, they're hoping to trend in the opposite direction, because right now they're ranked number 26 in the NFL.
Take those rankings, throw them right out the window, because this is what you prepare for. This is what you practice for. This is what you think about. The ultimate test, taking on the number 1 overall offense in the league.
Now a second down throw for Mariota. And into the end zone for a Tennessee touchdown. Delaney Walker with a lucky number 13 touchdowns now on the year. And the Titans have taken a first-quarter lead. Well, these guys have won 3 straight ball games, and another good start to this one out to the 6-0 lead.
And I've talked with so many different coaches, as have you, along the way, and they always talk about winning streaks and the mood of a team and how much easier it is to actually prepare during that time. Guys are sharp, guys are focused, everyone's feeling good, and we're seeing it early in this one.
This is fielded at the goal line. And he'll get it up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. A look at Washington as they come onto the field as we grind toward the end of the season here, and they haven't had the season that they had hoped. So let me ask you to play GM. Where might they look to make some changes?
I think when you look into the upcoming draft, think hard about them drafting multiple offensive linemen. They've got to get stouter up front. And as a GM always tells me, Charles, this is a big boy league, and big people always end up winning games for you.
Well, look now at how Tennessee's going to line up defensively. And they've played well against the pass, currently ranked 7th in the NFL.
Yeah, defending the pass hasn't been an issue for them. It's been stopping the run. And if they don't stop the run, they can't get back to their strength, which is guarding against the air attack.
So after the incompletion, 2nd and 10 from the 22. 2nd and 10, Smith again. Throw left side complete. It's Richardson. And he's able to get up here to the 26. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a third down. I think defensively you're okay with that. You're in the first quarter. He's going to get some catches, but they rallied to him quickly.
And that's what you count on, and I like what you just said. First quarter, can you do it all game long? They catch it, you tackle them, they go down on the spot. Because when you're able to do that, you don't give up big chunks of yardage after the catch, now you put the offense in a position where every series they have to work hard to pick up first downs, and you tend to stall them out when you do that. The goal for any offense versus a zone defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there, perfectly executed. And the Titan defense steps up here, and down he goes. Derek Morgan in there to sack him, and that is 10 for him now on the year.
And plays like that really hurt play calling. They had a really nice gain on the previous play, but gave about half the yardage back on the sack. Excellent pressure up front, nowhere to go with the football. Down he goes.
Here's Smith. And it's incomplete. He was looking to get that one to Chris Thompson, and that'll make it third down. And Charles got to like what this defense has been able to do these last couple of plays.
Yeah, they get the sack on first down, then they force the incomplete pass. Now they're just a play away from getting the football right back, but it's a big play. They've got to hold up.
Third and long, it's Smith. And able to catch it on the left sideline, but they're going to rule him out of bounds. So it'll be incomplete, certainly one they'd like to have back as it brings up fourth down. You got a young quarterback, maybe that's just an example of a growing pain for him.
I think you're right about that, because when the game starts to move fast and it moves quickly on him, a lot of times they fall back on what they know best, their arm. He's slinging it on this one. Had a wide-open target, but didn't have the proper footwork to increase his accuracy.
And the Titans getting set to go. Now they'll be looking to duplicate the efforts of drive number 1 that resulted in 7 points in the 7-zip lead.
Well, you know how much I enjoy horse racing, right? Looks like they caught a flyer out of the gate, as they would say when you're running the big-time races. Means they get out to a fast start. They're setting the pace, making the other team chase now.
It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4. Getting the cinch, Charles, are going to put a big emphasis this afternoon on the run game.
And why not? What we're seeing so far, working pretty well from them. And here's the best part. We always talk about the best performers do their job when the lights come on. I think he likes natural light best.
Keep it rolling, keep it rolling.
Play fake to Henry. Now Mariota goes underneath for Henry. And they'll bring him down right around the 13. They'll get a couple yards on that one. And all of a sudden here, it's third down.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you just swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
They'll try to run for the first with Henry. Room here to run. And he's got the first, but we also have a flag on the field. And they're already walking backwards.
Holding offense.
So a decent gain,
Still
but all
third
for
down.
naught on the penalty.
It's too bad, isn't it? They were feeling pretty good about it. The only people celebrating, the guys who just gave up that play.
And on third down, a nickel formation here defensively. From the shotgun, it's Mariota. And he locates Walker, complete. And able to get this one out just shy of the 25 at the 24. He had the touchdown on the opening drive. Now he's got a first down.
Well, sometimes our pregame meetings do pay off, don't they? What do the guys in the locker room call him?
Well, they said it with a chuckle. They called him Old Reliable.
Yeah, that means he doesn't move quite as fast as he used to, but he still knows all the tricks, doesn't he? Even that little gentle push-off in order to get open. He finds a way to pick up a first down.
Dion Lewis, the first carry for the expatriate. And he'll get this one up to the 26. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
With the former Volunteer Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. It's the Titans with the football here to begin quarter number 2. They've got a 2nd and 9 to start things out. The last play got just a yard. Here's 2nd and 9 from the 26. Off play action to Henry. Here's Mariota. Rashard Matthews here on the catch. And they nearly get this all the way to midfield. Mark him down at the 49. That one goes for 24 yards. Mariota going to bring him up 1st and 10. And he's a perfect 5 for 5 here to begin the game. Mariota gives to Henry. And he'll go down shy of the 40 at the 41. That one good for 10 yards. And that'll bring up a 2nd and just about a few inches here.
On any explosive run, you can almost feel the ground shaking, and that's from the offensive linemen creating space for their runners. I had an old coach tell me before, they always told his runners, run around the offensive line in pregame. Get used to the ground shaking so you don't trip and fall when it happens in a game.
Off the play fake, Mariota. It comes, and he lost the football. Mariota had it jarred loose.
On plays like this where the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back. Because this is the quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
Play action now, Mariota. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete. You can tell they were hoping for a flag there offensively. Several on the sideline motioning. Hey, why not a penalty? Why not a penalty? What did you see?
Yeah, I think you've got to let them play, and the officials are instructed. If there's contact coming from both sides, no flag. Let them fight it out.
And forces 4th down. At Washington as they come onto the field. They're going to have to go at least 50, 60 yards here if they want to ensure that they don't have to punt the ball like they did last time.
Yeah, so what you're saying is we're not playing to just get out of the shadow of your own goal line, right? You're playing to make sure the punter doesn't see the field again, so it's not picking up a couple of first downs. You want to pick up 5 or 6 first downs and make sure you move the ball to their territory.
They're throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete. Seems like this defense, especially the secondary, has really been contesting about every throw in this first half.
Remind me of a good half-court defensive basketball team. Every time a pass is thrown, they're right there in good defensive position, able to affect the play.
Now Thompson. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. He lost 2 there, and it's 3rd down.
Partner, you mind if I take off this headset and put on a coaching headset?
You want to get this running game going?
I want to get this running game going. I'm going down there and saying, gentlemen, we have got to run the football. We've got to get it going right now.
Yeah, to this point in the second quarter, it has been a struggle. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. He did well to get him 8 yards, but it's still going to mean a call to the punt team on 4th down.
Now's a good chunk of yardage picked up there. And big fella, sometimes he doesn't need a whole lot of space created. He can make his own way.
And we spotlight Derrick Henry now. A good job in the passing game. Decent job in the running game, but really they've been more effective through the air. We'll see if that shifts at all as this goes on.
Thus far, it feels like they're calling this game in reverse. Normally you run to set up the pass. Here it feels like they're passing, hoping to set up the run and be more effective later on in the game.
Yeah, you can do it both ways. We usually talk about it in the reverse, however.
No doubt about it.
Solid way to start the drive. 13 yards, picking up the first.
Tremendous blocking by the interior of the offensive line. They didn't just gash him there. They blasted a gaping hole for him to gallop through. I think if he comes back to the huddle, he better be giving them a whole lot of credit and thanking them for that much space to rumble.
And he'll take it down shy of the 45 at the 46. The completion good for 3, and it's 2nd down.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
On On second down, here's Henry. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. Tackle made there by Zach Brown.
On any running play that's called, they're always hoping that it's going to break big and go the distance. But when you get a nice gain like that, you're able to do so many things anyway. You can come back and run essentially the same play again, continue to move the ball on the ground, or you can decide to throw the ball now because usually you have the defense back on its heels.
On third down, Henry. And they went the wrong way there, losing yardage back at the 43-yard line. That'll make it fourth down after a loss of 1.
I wonder if they just kind of outguessed themselves a little bit trying to run it on third down. Probably should have gone to the air to try and pick it up. Instead, the punting unit will have to run on the field.
And this is going to hit the goal line and continue on into the end zone for a touchback. A look at Washington as they come onto the field.
The results for them so far not that great. Well, not good at all. 3 drives, 3 punts.
Yeah, and now what you're doing is you're looking at your play sheet, trying to figure out what you're going against defensively. I wonder, are they showing them something they haven't seen?
And now the ball's loose. Smith loses it. And that might be Titan football. It is.
What part do they went empty set there? No backs in the backfield. All receivers out in the pattern. And in this situation, you know what the quarterback has to do? Act as his own blitz control.
Yeah, he's got nobody else there to protect him.
No one else there to protect, which means he's got to get rid of the football and absorb the hit, but not go down and fumble the ball.
That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be second down.
Well, you had to punt on your first drive, and on the first play of the second drive, you end up going backwards. I would dare say they need something good to happen right here, right now.
Keep it rolling, keep it rolling.
Second down, Mariota. This will be caught at about the 5. And he will score. Touchdown, Titans. As his guys are in for 6. And the Titans are going to add on to their lead.
On this play, he just made a great route. The quarterback had to deliver it, sure, but a great route run there.
And, Brandon, this is what the best receivers do. They work on their route running because it's one thing to have athletic ability, but to really get open, you have to set up defensive backs with different routes and be precise in your cuts.
This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he'll wind up about 4 yards shy of where he would have been if he had taken a knee, as they'll start at the 21-yard line. A look at Washington as they come onto the field.
Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points, get that 0 off the board.
To throw on second down to Smith. And the hit jarred loose. It's incomplete.
It is tough to complete passes against zone defenses. The windows that you see open, they shrink pretty rapidly. How about being able to hit a moving target against a zone before the next guy can get there and make a play on the ball?
Not easy for any quarterback. No matter the situation in there, the defense won the battle.
And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. First time they've hooked up here. Good for 17 and a first down.
A lot of tight ends just use their size and their strength, try to occupy some space and kind of body people away and catch the football. But not this guy. He's a refined route runner. Makes me wonder if he took some dance classes in his background with his footwork.
Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
Whenever we talk about the best strong safeties, one word constantly comes up, and that's instincts. Being able to diagnose run or pass and make the appropriate moves.
He crashed down hard there. He was ready for that running play.
And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field.
Holding offense.
So some holding over on the left side of that O-line.
And I know for the guys trying to move those big defensive people, they'd love for them to stay in one spot. But they move around so quick and so fast that sometimes you just have to grab them.
They'll come up now on a 2nd and long after the hold. 2 minutes to go here in the first half. Back to Tennessee after this. A reminder, once we hit halftime, as we do all season, we'll send it down to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have all the stats and scores from games in progress around the NFL.
The best multitasker in the business, the coach.
Completes it right side to Dodson. And the Titans going to signal for a timeout defensively. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. Throwing on 3rd and long. Smith. Oh, he's got a little daylight. And he's going to be taken down with a marker on the field. So let's see about the call.
Holding offense.
So instead of giving them another 3rd down, they'll decline it, brings up 4.
Now that's smart football right there. You don't even have to really spend a lot of time considering it. Just know that you're probably going to get the ball back. Good job declining that penalty.
And problems spreading to the punt team now. This one goes all the way into the end zone on the fly, so that'll come back to the 20. Here's the Titan offense now as they make their way back onto the field. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch. Mariota now on 2nd down. His throw incomplete. He was waving his arms, wanted the football, but he dropped it. And that reminds me of a story you told me from your days at Tennessee. We don't need to mention the other guy's name, but when he dropped an open pass that you blew coverage on, what'd you say to him?
Yeah, it's really not right since I blew coverage, but since he dropped the pass, I said, well, maybe next time he'll just walk it out here and hand it to you. Would that be easier? He wasn't real thrilled with that answer.
That's cold-blooded. Cold-blooded. On 3rd down, that's Henry. And down he goes, but he takes it up to the 40. 13 yards is the pickup for Tennessee and a 1st down. A solid run by Derrick Henry, and here's another 1st and 10. Mariota now to throw on 1st down. Escaping the pressure right. And he'll be out of bounds after getting this one across the 40. He'll get 3 yards on the scramble there at 2nd down.
Okay, he's not going to get the 1st down, but this is still a nice job of buying some time and then running to get to the sideline and get out of bounds and avoid the big hit.
From the gun, Mariota dumps it off to Lewis. Well, he is out of bounds, but not before he's inside the 30. A really good pickup of 28 yards.
We can talk all we want about football being a game of strength and brawn. It's also a game of mismatches, and they're trying to create one there, getting it to their back out of the backfield to make a bigger play.
As we often say, get it to him in space, let him use his leg.
Yeah, if he can get a matchup against a linebacker or maybe a defensive end dropping out in a zone blitz, he's going to win that battle just about every time.
Now Tennessee going to use the 2nd of their timeouts, as they'll stop it with a little over 30 seconds to go in the 1st half of play. Working out of the gun, Mariota. He dumps it off for Henry. And he will reach the 8-yard line before going out. The Titans efficient passing on this drive. There's another 1st down.
Well, it's tough to be a defender in today's NFL because there's so many things to account for in today's passing game, including the back sneaking out in the backfield. Not quite as bad as a turkey bowl where you have the center-eligible stuff.
And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. Pernell McPhee in there to get him for sack number 9 now on the year. Mariota. And it's zone. Touchdown, Tennessee. Marcus Mariota with his third touchdown pass of the afternoon. And the Titans find a way to stretch their lead.
That's one of the better examples of clock management I've seen. Whittled it all the way down just about and still put the ball in the end zone.
Yeah, just a methodical drive and something really to take into the lockers here. Now here's Suckup out to kick it away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. Final play of the first half, barring a penalty, as they come up on 1st and 10.
We got three, fellas. We got three. Set. I'm set.
And with time running short here, they'll simply take a knee, and that should do it for half number one. So we've reached halftime here in Nashville, the Music City, with the Titans out in front. As we send you down to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports halftime report. Coach.
Okay, Brandon, thanks very much. The weather might be cold, but the playoff races are heating up here on this final Sunday before Christmas. So let's get to it. We'll begin out in Southern California. The Chargers playing host to traveling Baltimore. And they are seconds away from halftime, all tied in that one. Lastly, let's check on one final game for you. And you can see they are scoreless as they play the second quarter. Meanwhile, in our game, it's been a back-and-forth first half. Who can put it together in the second half? For the answer, we turn it back over to our broadcast team of Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. The Titans hold the lead, and they'll get the football first as the third quarter gets underway. This is fielded at the goal line. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. And as this offense makes their way back out, it's AFC playoff race time as we give you a look. And the division title out of reach, we know that. This is as good a spot, Charles, as they're going to get. That first wild card and the number 5 overall seed.
So it's just a matter of adjusting now, isn't it? And what I mean by that is mentally. Every team starts the season thinking, let's go for the number 1 seed, right? Being the top team. Number 2 is pretty great, too, because you get the opening bye, and you're at home after that. But it doesn't matter at this point. Just getting in, and you just sit down and talk to your team. Would you rather go on the road and deal with someone, or would you rather stay at home for the playoffs? Let's go on the road and go take someone out.
Again, it's Henry. Only 3 there on the pickup, but that's enough to move the chains.
Third quarter, and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
Mariota hands to Henry. And not much there at all. Maybe a yard up to the 43.
But we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
Keep it rolling. Keep it rolling. Wait! Blue, wait! Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
They'll try to throw now. Mariota. And he almost intercepted it. They haven't picked a ball off yet. That probably should have been their first. And it's third down now. They got the win last week despite not having any interceptions. Tried to come up with one there, could not. But there's a stat category called PBU, pass breakup. That's important too, and they got one.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it because at least you're there, knocking the ball away. Offense isn't possessing it, making plays downfield. And you just continue to harass the receivers, harass the quarterback, and maybe the big play does occur down the road.
And now the third down throw incomplete as well. They don't get the hook up there, but you really have to marvel at how precise he's been throwing the football these last couple weeks.
Oh, that's a perfect word for it, precise, because if you're at 70% or better 2 weeks in a row, you have a job as long as you want one in this league, won't you? I mean, let's face it, it's not just West Coast offense either. He's putting the ball downfield as well.
So here's the Redskins offense now as they get set to start this third quarter. They were able to get the stop defensively. Now a chance to turn that into points on the offensive end.
Can you imagine what the grease board looks like at the half? Because
tell me.
That's exactly what they printed up. Stop them on defense, get the ball back for our offense, and go downfield and score some points. Now, the last part remains to be seen, but they got the first part done very well.
Do people use grease boards, or you mean the magic marker board?
Yeah, those two.
And he's going to be taken down shy of the 5-yard line. Only a yard on the pickup, and now they've got a third down and 8.
Sometimes your philosophies get challenged at times you don't want them to. They did try to stick to the running game on the first 2 plays. Didn't amount to much.
And now facing a 3rd and long at the outset of this drive. These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. On 3rd down, it's Thompson. And not much there as he gets it up to about the 5-yard line. Just a 1-yard gain on the play, and that'll mean a call to the punt team as it's 4th down.
Well, they certainly have been able to get him going and establish the run, so I think it's time to abandon that plan and start chucking it all over the park. And you know who's excited about that? The defensive front. They got a chance to pin their ears back and get after him now.
And when it's said and done, it's a 58-yard punt, and it'll be Titan football. Time to look now with our spotlight at the quarterback, Marcus Mariota. And a trio of touchdown passes so far. They've got the lead as well. All is good. Mariota and the Titans break the huddle, 1st and 10 at the 41-yard line. They'll start on the ground. It's Derrick Henry. And the play goes nowhere. Losing yardage back near the 40 at the 39. That'll set them back with a loss of 3 on the play. And it'll bring up a 2nd and 13.
Doubling this guy has to be a priority before moving up to the next level because the big fella, he just ate that one alive, just stuffed it. In fact, before the game, he was talking to us, and he's like, hey, these pants make me look fat. And we said, nah, man, you're just a whole lot of guy.
He is at well over 300 pounds. He's a big man. And never good on a pass completion there to go the wrong way. Lost yardage.
No, for some reason it seems to work better when you throw it downfield or you can move the ball downfield running it that way, doesn't it? But in this case, if you're the defensive guys, you're energized, executed well, and you caused a lost yardage play. That's going to feel good and look great in film.
Calling no gain there, and it leads to a 4th down.
Perfectly designed blitz right there. They took that one from the grease board to the field because they were able.
Now heavy Redskin pressure, and they block it. Now it's scooped up, and this is a live football. So much for pinning him really deep. Short punt could have pinned him inside the 10. Now great field position the other way.
It's never good when you're punting the ball and your eyes see the ball go back behind you. No. However form, whether it's over your head or to the side, never good. Now it becomes a race to get to the football so they don't pick it up and take it all the way.
Now the first play of the drive there is incomplete. And that one goes incomplete. They tried something out of the bag of tricks, but it's incomplete and now 2nd down. They'll run it here with P. And he'll get about 5 here as he'll take this down inside the 20-yard line.
That 2nd down play call was not to pick up the 1st down. It was to accomplish what they did to get them into a manageable 3rd down because they had incompletion on 1st down, so they were behind the sticks, so to speak. They needed to make up some ground, and they did.
Now Smith. And he's got it. And he'll be taken down at the 2-yard line. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. A shotgun snap for Smith. And they're going to get to him. A sack. Sack back at the 9-yard line.
Well, if you're going to throw the ball on 1st and goal from the 2, the worst thing that should result is an incompletion for you offensively. But, Brandon, this is a different type of football. Back in my day, 1st and goal from the 2, a lot of big people with big neck rolls, they were on the field trying to ram it into the end zone.
They'll wind up getting 7 on the completion, but they'll still be faced now with a 3rd and goal situation.
That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield for a deeper route, and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts towards the middle.
And they're going to get to him, a sack. Sack back at the 9-yard line. Derek Morgan in there to sack him, and that is 10 for him now on the year.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
And Santos able to put this one up and through. It's good. And high fives for that one as that drive ends in 3. That drive took him inside the 10. Good job defensively to hold him to 3.
Yeah, I like how you did that. Give a little tip of the cap to the stop troops there because they didn't give up a touchdown in that situation, right? Made them kick the field goal. And, yeah, points went against them, but that feels a whole lot better running off the field.
Mariota and the Titans break the huddle 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. They begin with Henry. And an alley to run. And he'll wind up with about 6 up past the 30 to the 31.
And that last carry puts him right at 100 yards for the game. So how has he done it? Because he's been patient, followed his blocks, let everything develop, and then burst through for big gains.
Henry will get it. He's been busy today.
Holding offense.
So this will be accepted as he moves the offense backwards. Now they face a 2nd and long following the holding penalty. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he will not make it back to the line of scrimmage with a flag down here to boot. So they may back up further.
Holding offense.
That hold coming from the middle of the line, the center.
And it's difficult for him because sometimes you got people right over you, and as soon as you snap it, trying to get your hands up and block them, you can be a little bit late getting it done.
They'll come up now on a 2nd and long after the hold. They go play action. Mariota, he's going to float this one deep right side. And got his man complete. Past the 20. 10. Touchdown, Titans. Rashard Matthews, 87 yards. And the Titans are going to add on to their lead.
You have fun with this one, partner?
I am. I mean, he's been fun to watch under center.
We always talk about, getting to the next level, right? When we see people get into the zone, this guy's in the master class right now. What a performance he's putting on, just carving them up.
4 touchdown passes. Carving him up is right. Seems like everything he throws is going to be a completion and going in the end zone. That's fielded in the end zone. And he won't return this one. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll start at the 25. A look at Washington as they come onto the field. And they had 3 points last time, but they didn't want 3 points because they were well within range of scoring a touchdown. We'll see if they can do better now.
I'm with you on that one. Let's just go ahead and be frank about the whole thing. The only one happy about the 3-point
The kicker.
Exactly. He put it through the post. That's going to help him at contract time. But that offense, they're thinking, let's get in the end zone this time.
I don't know if that helped him at contract time. You could have kicked that one through.
I don't know about that.
Toe bash.
I don't know about
Toe
that.
bashed it.
Super toe. Sometimes it's hard to believe, but there are times this game is about patience, isn't it? Has had the game he expected.
And the pressure will get to him. He goes down. Now there is a flag on the play, but this looks like holding on the offense. So they will take the sack instead of the penalty.
And it takes another down off the series. But the biggest one of all, Do you want to tell the guy who just got the sack that it no longer counts?
No.
No, not at all.
Back now in Nashville. A lot of happy faces in the crowd at this point as their guys have a big lead here to start quarter number 4. Got to imagine the pass rush will be equally intense here on second down following the sack. It's 2nd and 18.
Ready, wide 80.
Out of the gun, Smith. And he drops this off to Townsend, complete. It's a loss of 2, now 3rd down.
If you're a selfish player and you're throwing the ball, you're cool with the completion. Maybe not so cool with the yardage loss, though, huh?
Yeah, you went backwards on the yardage. Hey, it kind of works like a sack for the defense there.
Yeah, it's a really big play for them, right? Able to figure it out, sniff it out, and finish it off.
And he goes out of bounds just shy of the 45. They get 12 yards back, but it still leads to a 4th and long.
If you're running out route, it's likely you're going to end up near the sideline. And what did we just see there?
Toe tap.
You got it. The benefits of practice. Toe tapping, foot dragging, picking it up, and making sure it was a catch.
Smith looking long for his tight end read. And this is caught, but they say out of bounds. It would have been a first down, but he couldn't stay in, and as a result, they're going to have to give up the football. Well, they've clearly made a conscious decision here to be more aggressive in the late stages of this game here in the second half.
And I get it. In this situation, if you want to be aggressive out near midfield, you feel good about your defense maybe, or just, hey, I thought I had a proper play call. But how about the guys that just stopped them? How good do they feel right now? Hey, you want to go for it here? We shut you down. They're over on the bench right now feeling great.
Easy. 4 down. Ready, blue 18. Shift. Motion.
They'll run it again with Henry. And he'll take it inside the 40 to the 39-yard line. Give him 3 on the run there. Now they're looking at a 3rd and about 5. Charles, you'd said the magic number was probably right around 20 for this defense because they're facing one of the top 5 offenses in the league in terms of points scored. They've had their moments, but this offense just a little too good, isn't it?
They really are, because no matter what you do to make an adjustment on defense, they've had an answer for it.
1.
On play action, Mariota. And complete to the tight end Walker, right side. Tennessee getting the first down on a big play of 18 yards. He's been the go-to guy. They needed a big play there on 3rd down. Went his way. It worked out.
Doesn't matter whether they've scouted it or that they think he's going to get the ball. He has a knack for finding his way open and completing the connection.
A 20th carry now for Derrick Henry. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down.
Brandon, it's clearly a running situation when you're up in the 4th quarter. They're going to have to stack the box and make it difficult for them to move the ball.
Made it very difficult right there. Now they need to repeat that effort.
Yeah, bring 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take to slow them down.
Now Lewis. And that one blown up quickly as he's going to be stopped before he could even get started. He lost 2 there, and it's 3rd down.
Early down stuff's to put this offense in a precarious position. We know that securing the point of attack, especially against the big-bodied guys in the middle of this D, has got to be priority 1.
1. Watch 81. Banjo.
On 3rd down, that's Henry. And he'll be brought down inside the 20 at the 19. It's a 6-yard gain, and it leaves him looking at a 4th down.
So where'd all that running room that he had in the first half go? Because it looks like it's drying up a little bit here. Someone made some adjustments, it appears, at least on this drive.
And Suckup will put this one right through. And that will extend their lead even further. So it's 3 more points, and that widens this thing out even further here in the fourth.
And you know, in this league, you can never have enough points, but this widens it out, as you said, and now it's all about ball control, isn't it?
This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he's able to get it across the 20, but not by much, as he's marked down at the 21-yard line. A look at Washington as they come onto the field. And on that last drive, went for it on 4th, turned it over. But good job by their defense, though. They held them to 3, but this offense, they've got to be a little bit better, a little bit more careful here.
And sometimes when you see these calls on 4th down, when they decide to go for it, it's not necessarily the coach saying, I believe in my offense. Sometimes the coach saying, I believe in my defense. I can afford to go for it here, because if we don't get it, I don't think we'll give up more than 3, and that's exactly what happened there.
You think that factored in?
I do. I think that he had that in his mind going into the game, that I'm going to be aggressive on offense because I know I've got a defense that can hold up their end.
Here's Smith. Airing one out for Crowder. And this is going to be intercepted. Picked off by Wesley Woodyard. And his guys will take over at the 25-yard line. The Titans offense now, they work their way back onto the field. We find ourselves here in the midst of a one-sided affair. A lot of fill time down the stretch, Mr. Davis.
So we could talk about food because that is something that you and I enjoy.
We share that.
We enjoy our time at the table. So maybe the best steakhouses in the city, but in all seriousness, the performances that we've seen this year, we've seen a bunch of great ones. And it's going to be hard to parse who's going to win the MVP.
Yeah, it really is.
Is it going to be a runner? Is it going to be a thrower? Can a defender finally win it this season? Those are the things that we could probably discuss.
And collectively, this is about as dominant of a performance as you could have hoped for on both sides of the football.
Might have to put it #1 for what we've seen this season.
And he'll be limited to a short gain up to about the 34-yard line. Give him 3 on the play, and they're going to have a 3rd down.
Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward, and they want to put the onus on the big fellas up front in order to bring this one home.
I got you, baby. I got you. I got you. 53 is the mic. 53 is the mic.
On 3rd down, that's Henry. And he went nowhere. Well, he went backwards, back to the 33. A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th.
Hey, a lot of points have been scored in this game, but what a nice play by the defense. Stepping up on that one, maybe they'll get things going in their direction after a play like that.
Time for a break. We'll come back and wrap up garbage time after this. So the Titans in possession of the football here as we get you reset. They've got a 4th down here in a game that looks to have been decided already. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. So a change of possession here on the punt. And it'll be Redskins football now with a 1st and 10. A look at Washington as they come onto the field. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yeah, sometimes teams want to do that and coaches want to. I remember one time I was on a team and we were losing late in the game like this, and you knew it was lost. It was over, right? And the coach called a running play and pretty much said to everyone, I want to see something executed well before we get out of here. And that was the message to the team.
Just something to build on.
Just something to build on, get it done, and maybe we can look at that and say, we'll get better as we go forward.
To throw is Smith. Docks him with a grab over the middle. And they'll get him down here at the 23. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a 3rd down. And before they can run this 3rd down play, we're going to get a timeout, as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. They face a 3rd and 4 after that last completion gets them 6. From the gun, here's Smith. In
Incomplete. He had his hands on it but couldn't pick it. But it's now 4th down. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden a secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
They'll call that a 61-yard punt. He got all of that one. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. And here comes Tennessee as they get set to take the field. And this game comfortably in hand. The scoreboard speaks for itself, but you still got your starting quarterback out there. When do you go to the backup? Let him get some time.
And that's one of the great questions in the NFL, Brandon, because I'm just going to tell you, in the 2015 season, I commentated on 3 games in a row that were blowouts. And in none of them did the starting quarterback ever come out of the game for the team that had a big lead. And in each instance, I asked the coaches later on, why didn't you do that? And they all looked at me and said, just don't really do that in the NFL. You know, these guys play, and we just play them all the way through. Now, in certain situations, they will take them out, but for the most part, they're not as worried and concerned about getting them out of the game. And that's always puzzled me a little bit.
Down to a knee here. The defense still with a couple of timeouts. We'll see if they want to use them. And, Charles, I think when the schedule comes out, all teams, no matter where they're predicted to finish, talk about protecting your home turf. They were able to do that here in this one.
Similar to a tennis match, right? Not letting them break your serve. That way you hold on to it. They got it done, and they feel very good about that victory.
So for the Titans, the wins keep coming as this one moves them to 12-3 on the year. And they'll have another home date next week as the Indianapolis Colts come to town. Meanwhile, for Washington, it's another loss as they now fall to 4-11. And they'll try again next week at home against Philadelphia. So for Charles Davis and our entire crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Next game, guess what? Charles and I will be here again. It's the NFL on EA Sports.